Hi guys. Okay, so I just wanted to turn on the camera today to document this moment for personal reasons. Not sure. I think I'm gonna share it with others who are probably going through the same thing. I know many others are going through the same thing because I've had the benefit of watching a few videos where a person share their journey, their personal journeys as it relates to kind of finding out who they are. So I know I share a little this and that here and there because I, to be honest, don't know which direction to go as it relates to how much I share. And also, I have such a busy life going on that it's hard to document everything. It's hard to record everything or remember to turn on the camera. It's just so much going on. Life is lifing, as it is for everyone. And it just seems like in the moments when you're not going, you just need to be self-reflecting, resting, taking a break, taking care of your mental health, things like that. So I've been doing a lot of that. Because if you check back on a few of my videos during COVID, you see where I joined a challenge, a mental health challenge, because I'm someone who has and still do have challenges coping, dealing with anxiety, depression, things of that sort, due to past trauma as a child, trauma as a young adult, trauma in my adult life, in married life, now divorce. So it's a lot that I know I haven't shared, but this particular milestone or this particular time in my life, or journey that I'm going on, I just wanted to document it because I feel like there's so many things that I don't talk about. There's so many things that we do keep secrets, keep a secret, because, you know, some of us are introverts, some of us just, you know, keep a lot of things to ourselves, and I'm one of those persons. But what I've realized, without self-diagnosing, without speaking to a therapist, just thinking aloud and also talking to some personal friends and close friends, that this element of my life has contributed to a lot of my trauma. It has contributed to a lot of decisions that I've made, a lot of poor decisions I've made, and it's also made me the alpha female that I am. I'll put it that way, without conceding to being too dominant or aggressive or all the other labels that they like to put on Black women. But my independence and my strength comes from having to survive so many different things. And I'll just jump into it because I'm just running on right now, but I'll just jump into it so that you, the viewer, understand why this is not only difficult for me, but it is, I think it's going to be freeing for me. So okay, I'll just jump into it. Ancestry.com, right? Ancestry DNA. I recently purchased an Ancestry DNA kit, and it actually came to me about sometime last week. I got it, right? Less than a week ago. But I've actually been waiting for this for a couple of months now, well over 2 months. So I'll probably, if I feel like it, get into the process of even ordering this and getting this to the Bahamas. Was very difficult. The easiest way just to cut all of that, the easiest way is just to send it to the United States and then ship it from the United States, because outside of that, no. I had to really, this is my third attempt on getting this kit. So I'm getting this kit because at the age of 18, my mom, who's now deceased, somewhat informed me, and I say somewhat because it wasn't direct, but somewhat informed me that who I knew then as my father may not have been my father. And she didn't really go into much detail or explanation. She alluded to some things that I probably won't talk about in this video. I don't know if this is going to become a series, but depending on the outcome of this test, then I'll know if I should go further into explaining what she told me. Needless to say, it left me more confused, more hurt. I had so many questions, and I struggled since then. I was 18 at the time. In the next few days, I would say the next 3 days or 2 days, next 2 and some days, the next 2.5 days, a little over 2 days, I'll be 44 years old. And since 18 years old, this secret that my mom has kept has plagued me and has been the crutch of my depression, my anxiety, a lot of negatives. There aren't much positives that came out of this for me. And I've been on a journey ever since. I did confront the primary person who she said may or may not be my dad. The person at the time when I was 18, well, I didn't really necessarily confront them. Let me just backtrack. At 18, I didn't really confront them, but I did send a letter to my mom, and I sent the person a letter as well. And I think the person came and had a few words to say. It probably was less than a 5-minute conversation, and that was it. And after that, it was back to normal. It's like nothing ever happened. Like, I just didn't find out that there's a possibility, because I'm sitting waiting on the next steps and nothing happened. So I've been sitting since 18 trying to figure out what do I do next, because it's obvious that that person doesn't really care about me finding out the truth. And about a year ago, after struggling for many years and slipping into deep depression, I built up the nerve. Even as an adult, I had built up the nerve to confront the person and say, okay, we didn't really get a chance when I was 18 to speak about, what I found out. And I'd like to talk about it some more now. They tried to avoid the conversation, but I managed to get a lot off my chest that I had on my chest. So that was good. That was healthy. But still no solid confirmation of, whether or not they were my dad. So I asked for a DNA test. I did. I asked for a DNA test. They said they would do it. A year has come and gone. More than a year. February would have made, it's now April 1st. February, is April 1st? Yeah, I think it's April 1st. Yeah. February, sometime in February would have made a year. And it's back to business as usual. They'd rather just sweep it under the rug. Okay. There's a lot more to the story, of course, but like I said, I don't really want to get too deep until I find out the results of this test. And so this is the next journey that I'm taking. I'm also doing traits so I can, delve a little deeper. And so today is Tuesday the 1st. I want to send this test off on Wednesday because in my country, FedEx has a 50%. If you didn't know, guys, FedEx has 50% off on Wednesdays. So I specifically waited for Wednesday to do the test. So before I send the test off tomorrow, I just wanted to open it to understand what I need to do, how I need to package it, and any additional information so I can be prepared to get this done tomorrow. And I probably won't have time to record tomorrow. If I do, I probably will. You probably see it attached to this video if I do. And I'll let you know once I send it off. So I'm going to read the instructions, find out what I need to do, and then give you guys an update. Thank you for those who will be following this journey with me. It is a very deep, deep, deep story. But we'll see. Okay, so just back to share what the steps are for those who may be curious about what's needed. Basically, it seems pretty straightforward in 4 simple steps. First thing to do would be to register your kit, and apparently there's a QR code on the tube. I actually haven't opened the boxes yet, so I'm not going to do it till tomorrow, like I said. But let's take a look. The tab says pull open, and there's actually a QR code. Oh, I guess this is the label you put on the tube. It isn't actually on. There's a barcode on the tube, but there's a QR code here. So I think this is what you use to put on the tube. I'll have to figure that part out. There is a spit cup, and there's some stabilizing fluid in the cover, the cap. So once you spit in the cup up to a certain line, you take off you remove the funnel, and then you add the cap and you shake it up with the fluid in the cap so that it stabilizes. You put the label on it, and there's a hazardous bag that you put it in as well, and there you go. Once you package it back, put it back in the package, then how did I even get this out? I don't know. Okay, so once you put it back in the box actually has a free return postage on it. There it is, free return postage if you're posting within the United States. So like I said before, I'm not in the United States, I'm in the Bahamas, which means that I either have to send it through a courier like FedEx, DHL, UPS, or send it like we do in the islands, send it with a friend. I don't want to take something like this so lightly by sending it with someone, so I'm just going to pay. I'm going to make the payment and send it through one of the couriers. And yeah, and then see how it goes. Now it says that it takes about 6 weeks to get results back, but they will be giving me updates on my Ancestry.com account. So That means I have to wait another month and a half before I get answers. Now, the tricky part about this is that when you take these types of tests, only if someone only if someone who has your DNA or traits of your DNA, if they have done the test before on this platform, Ancestry.com, then it will pick up. So they have to have some family member in the database to kind of help you track who they have or who they could find, right? And so what I'm banking on is that someone in my bloodline has taken a test, and I can start there, whether it's a great grandaunt or uncle, whoever. So somewhere to start. What makes it a bit more grim is that, again, I'm from the islands, and from my history, from my experience using Ancestry.com, a lot of documentation can be found, mostly if the person has either is from the United States, has traveled to the United States, some connection to the United States, Europe, the UK, things like that. But the islands, they have to go off of birth registry records, which are pretty grim. And I think possibly it's going to get better with the use of AI, but it's a lot of records that needs to be read and documented, and it still requires you to know a little bit of what you're looking for to kind of connect the dots. That's been my experience. And so I did find some Bahamians on Ancestry.com, mostly on my mother's father's side. And so I'm hoping that whoever is my biological father, someone in their family has done it before, where done the test before, because the information I've found about my mother's father is basically was primarily because of the documents, the records and stuff like that, not necessarily DNA. So it's still not exact unless people start sending in their DNA. This is different. This requires someone sending in their DNA, and it may not be now. It may be a year from now, maybe another 10 years from now. But at whatever point, hopefully someone who shares DNA with me does the test, then I can get some information. But I'm hoping for more reasons than one. I'm hoping that someone in my DNA has already done it. Now, let me just leave it like that for now. I don't want to spill too much tea until I find out more. So for right now, it's just a simple woman's journey into finding out more about who she is and where she's from. Unfortunately, my mom has passed, and the information she gave me was still not concrete. And so I've lived all of these years not knowing where I came from, not connecting the dots. And to be quite honest, the person who may or may not be my father kind of resembles me, but I don't want to get my hopes up. Or I kind of resemble him. So I'm hoping, it's more than a hunch that I'm actually doing the Ancestry.com. So I'm hoping that my hunch, if that's the right terminology, is correct. Hunch, that's it, hunch. I'm hoping that my hunch is correct, that someone has done the test before, and I can get some information. And then I don't know what I'm going to do either way, but I realize that adulting is very difficult, and you never really know who you are, or who you'll become, or how you respond to things until they happen. So this is just one of those things that I really don't know how I'm going to respond if I don't find anyone how I'm going to respond if I do find someone. But I've decided to take the journey. I think I have been very courageous so far. It took me almost 30 years to build up the courage to confront this person. And so I'm not going to revert back to my cocoon and depression and all of that stuff. I'm going to move forward with it. And it's been a year since I've confronted them, so I'm still moving kind of slow, but I'm moving at my pace nonetheless, and I'm moving forward. So wish me luck, guys. I'll keep you abreast, and I'll let you know how things go. If I do vlog tomorrow when I go to drop off the test, I'll let you guys know. I'll probably add it to the end of this video. But if I don't, see you guys.